Elena Martinez moved through the White House halls. She was a shadow in the early morning light. Her mop danced across the polished floors. Each stroke was careful, deliberate, and precise. This was her world, a world of quiet service. Dust motes danced in sunbeams, her only audience. Few saw her, even fewer truly noticed her. But within Elena, a symphony of words resided. She held 9 languages, a vibrant hidden orchestra, a treasure unseen, unheard, yet full of power. She polished door handles that powerful hands would touch. She cleaned windows that looked out onto a nation's hopes. Elena understood the weight of this historic place. She felt the pulse of decisions, of triumphs and trials. Her work was humble, yet she performed it with dignity. Every corner, every surface met her exacting standards. She poured her quiet dedication into every task, but her mind often wandered to distant lands, to conversations in tongues few around her knew. A hidden depth, a world of understanding, lay within. Day after day, Elena was a constant, silent presence. She saw the rush of important people, heard snippets of hurried talk. She understood more than anyone ever guessed. A dropped phrase in French, a worried murmur in Russian, a hopeful aside in Spanish, a quick call in German. These were notes in the air to her, easily caught. She absorbed them all, a silent witness to history's whispers. But her role was to be invisible, to ensure cleanliness. So, her linguistic gifts remained her own secret, a quiet melody playing only for herself. The White House was a stage for grand pronouncements. It was a place of global conversations and critical decisions. Elena was part of the machinery that made it all run, yet her most valuable skill was locked away. She longed to contribute more, to use her full self. But how could she? From the sidelines of service. She kept her languages polished, just like the floors, hoping perhaps that one day someone might hear. Someone might recognize the music she carried inside. The unseen melody waited for its moment. Caroline Leavitt was young, bright, and always moving. As the White House press secretary, her days were a whirlwind. Phones rang constantly, deadlines loomed large. She navigated a sea of questions, of crises, of news. Her focus was sharp, her energy boundless, always forward. She rarely had a moment for quiet observation. The people around her were usually other officials or journalists. The support staff, like Elena, were often part of the backdrop. Essential, yes, but not always individually seen. Caroline was driven by the next briefing, the next statement. One particularly chaotic afternoon, stress levels were high. A delicate international negotiation was underway. Translators were scarce, and tensions were mounting. Caroline rushed down a less trafficked corridor. She was muttering to herself, reviewing talking points. Suddenly, she heard a voice, calm and clear. It was speaking fluent Mandarin, then switching to Arabic. The words were nuanced, intelligent, and precise. She paused, surprised. This was not a diplomat's office. This was a quiet service alcove. Caroline peered around the corner, curious. There was Elena Martinez, the janitor. She was speaking softly into her phone, perhaps to family. But the fluency, the perfect accent, it was astonishing. Caroline had heard snippets of Elena's Spanish before, but this was a revelation, a shock. Elena finished her call and turned, a little startled to see Caroline. She offered a polite nod, ready to resume her duties. But Caroline saw more than a janitor now. She saw a spark, a hidden, incredible talent. An idea began to form in Caroline's mind. This was no ordinary cleaning lady. This was extraordinary. Elena, Caroline began, her voice softer than usual. I couldn't help but overhear. Your languages, they are beautiful. Elena looked down, a little shy, perhaps a little wary. Thank you, Miss Leavitt, she said quietly. How many do you speak? Caroline pressed gently. Elena hesitated, then replied, 9, ma'am. 9. Caroline was stunned into momentary silence. A key, perhaps, to unlocking so much more. Caroline invited Elena to her office later that day. She wanted to hear everything, to understand. The press secretary's office was usually a hub of noise, but now a quiet space was made for Elena's voice. Elena sat, a little nervous but also hopeful. Tell me about yourself, Elena, Caroline urged kindly. Where does this incredible gift come from? Elena took a deep breath, ready to share. Her story began to unfold, piece by piece. A life rich with learning, yet marked by necessity. Elena spoke of her family, immigrants with big dreams. They valued education above all else, she explained. Her parents worked tirelessly to provide opportunities. They filled their home with books, with stories of the world. Languages were seen as bridges, not barriers. My grandmother used to say, Elena recalled softly, "Every language you learn gives you a new soul." So, Elena had studied, driven by curiosity and that belief. She excelled in linguistics, in international studies at university. Her future had seemed bright, aligned with global affairs. But life, as it often does, took unexpected turns. Family illness struck, requiring her full attention. Then came an urgent need for stable, immediate income. Her specialized degrees didn't translate quickly into jobs, not in a new city where connections were few. The White House janitorial position offered steady work. It was honest, it was secure, and it was needed. So, she took it, putting her other dreams on hold. She told herself it was temporary, a means to an end. But days turned into weeks, then months, then years. Yet Elena never let her skills fade away. She read foreign newspapers online during her breaks. She listened to international broadcasts on her commute. She practiced with language apps, with memories of conversations. Her mind remained a vibrant hub of global communication. She cleaned the floors of power, all while holding power within. Caroline listened, deeply moved by Elena's quiet strength. Her resilience, her dedication to learning, was inspiring. Here was a woman of incredible intellect and grace, a talent hidden in plain sight, waiting to be seen. Caroline Levitt felt a surge of conviction. Elena's story was not just interesting, it was a call to action. This was more than just a hidden talent, it was a solution. The White House constantly needed skilled linguists, people who understood nuance, culture, and communication. Elena was not just fluent, she possessed a profound understanding. Caroline knew she had to do something significant. She couldn't let this extraordinary potential remain untapped. The administration prided itself on finding the best people. Well, Elena was one of the best right here. Caroline went to her superiors, her voice full of passion. She presented Elena's case with clarity and conviction. She spoke of Elena's 9 languages, her education. She highlighted the pressing need for such skills, especially in liaising with the International Press Corps. Some were hesitant, questioning the unconventional path. A janitor, promoted to such a visible, sensitive role. But Caroline was persuasive, armed with facts and belief. She argued that talent, not title, should define opportunity. Slowly, minds began to open to the possibility. The decision was made. Elena would be offered a new role, international media liaison, a position created for her skills. Caroline herself delivered the news to Elena. She found her in a quiet corridor, polishing brass. "Elena," Caroline said, her eyes shining, "we have an offer for you." When Elena heard the details, tears welled in her eyes. Disbelief, then overwhelming gratitude washed over her. It was more than a job. It was a dream reborn, a chance to use the gifts she had nurtured for so long. She accepted, her voice thick with emotion, from mop and bucket to a desk and a global stage. Elena's transition was swift, yet profound. She was fitted for new attire, given new credentials. She walked the same halls, but now with a different purpose. Her steps were lighter, her spirit soaring high. The White House, a place she knew so intimately from one angle, now opened itself to her in a completely new way. Her journey was a testament to seeing beyond the surface. Elena Martinez was ready to embrace her new destiny. Her melody was finally about to be heard by the world. News of Elena Martinez's new role spread quickly. It rippled through the West Wing and beyond. The reactions were a mix, a true human tapestry. Some staff members were genuinely thrilled for her. They had seen Elena's quiet diligence over the years. They admired her unexpected talent, her sudden ascent. One young aide exclaimed with delight, "It's like a movie." Another remarked, "It shows that anything is possible here." These voices celebrated the discovery, the fairness of it. They saw it as a win for hidden potential everywhere. However, not all reactions were so positive. Whispers followed Elena down the corridors she once cleaned. Some were laced with skepticism, even a touch of envy. A janitor, handling sensitive international briefings? Does she even understand the complexities? These doubts stemmed from prejudice, from rigid thinking. They struggled to see past her previous uniform. To them, roles were fixed, and Elena had crossed a line. A few felt overlooked themselves, questioning her rapid rise. The air in some offices grew cooler when she passed. Elena was not naive. She sensed the mixed currents. She heard the muted congratulations alongside the louder doubts. It was a challenge she had anticipated in a way. Changing perceptions is harder than changing jobs, but she met it all with her characteristic grace. She focused on the work, on proving her capabilities. She knew that actions would speak louder than whispers. Her quiet determination became her shield and her guide. She would not let negativity dim her newfound opportunity. Her spirit, though tested, remained strong and resolute. Caroline Levitt stood firmly by Elena's side. She made sure Elena had the resources and support needed. She publicly praised Elena's skills and early contributions. This helped to quiet some of the more vocal critics. It also encouraged those who were supportive to speak up. Slowly, the atmosphere began to shift, little by little. Wonders started to replace some of the whispers. Colleagues began to see Elena's competence firsthand. They saw her professionalism, her calm under pressure. The White House was learning a lesson about judging books by their covers. In her new role, Elena blossomed like a rare flower. As international media liaison, her days were dynamic. She was no longer silent, her voice was now essential. She prepared briefings for foreign journalists with meticulous care. Her understanding of their cultures was a huge asset. She could anticipate their questions, their concerns. She translated complex policy documents with flawless accuracy, ensuring that nothing was lost in translation, no nuance missed. Her 9 languages were suddenly in constant demand. She moved between them with an effortless grace. One critical moment came during a tense trade negotiation. A key European delegate felt misunderstood, disrespected. The official translator struggled to convey the subtle offense. Elena, present to assist, gently stepped in. Speaking in the delegate's native dialect, she reframed the point. She captured the precise emotional tone, the cultural context. The tension in the room visibly eased, almost instantly. Understanding dawned, and the negotiation found new footing. Heads turned towards Elena, not with doubt, but with respect. She had not just translated words, she'd bridged a divide. Elena's approach was built on more than just fluency. She understood that language was about connection. It was about building trust, fostering understanding. She treated every journalist, every official with respect. She listened intently, ensuring they felt heard. Her briefings became known for their clarity and insight. Foreign correspondents began to seek her out specifically. They trusted her accuracy, her fairness, her professionalism. She was becoming an indispensable part of the communications team, a quiet force now making a significant impact. Her colleagues, even some former skeptics, began to rely on her. They saw the results, the smoother interactions, the better coverage. Requests for her assistance piled up on her new desk. "Can Elena look this over?" became a common refrain. "Ask Elena. She'll know how to phrase it for the French press." She handled the increased workload with calm efficiency. Her dedication was unwavering, her commitment absolute. Elena Martinez was no longer just a linguist. She was a diplomat in her own right, a weaver of words. Her voice was helping to shape perceptions of the White House globally. Elena never forgot where she came from. She remembered the years of quiet observation. She knew she wasn't the only one with hidden talents. The White House employed hundreds in support roles: cooks, gardeners, maintenance crew, security personnel. Each one had a life story, skills beyond their job description. Elena felt a deep desire to help uncover these gifts. She believed in the potential lying dormant around her. If her transformation was possible, others could rise too. This belief sparked a new idea, a powerful initiative. With Caroline's enthusiastic support, Elena proposed a program. She called it the Hidden Voices Initiative. Its mission was simple: to find and nurture untapped skills, to look beyond uniforms and titles, to see the whole person. The program would create a voluntary skills inventory. It would offer mentorship and pathways for development. It aimed to enrich the White House community from within, making it stronger, more diverse, and more efficient. Elena presented her vision with passion and clarity. The leadership, impressed by her journey, approved it. The Hidden Voices Initiative was launched with quiet optimism. At first, responses were slow, perhaps a little hesitant. Some wondered if it was too good to be true. But Elena personally championed the program. She spoke to staff groups, sharing her own story. She encouraged them to list their skills, their passions. Slowly, the registrations began to flow in. A gardener who was a gifted graphic designer, a kitchen assistant who spoke fluent Farsi, a security guard who was an expert coder. The discoveries were astonishing, truly eye-opening. The White House was a treasure trove of hidden abilities. The program began matching these skills with internal needs. The gardener helped design new public brochures. The kitchen assistant aided in translating sensitive documents. The security guard assisted the IT department on a project. Morale among support staff soared to new heights. They felt seen, valued, and empowered to contribute more. Elena's vision was creating a chorus of new voices. The White House was becoming a richer, more vibrant place. Even with her successes, Elena's path wasn't always smooth. The spotlight that came with her new role was bright. And with brightness, shadows of doubt sometimes lingered. A few established figures still viewed her with skepticism. They whispered about her lack of traditional experience. They scrutinized her work, perhaps hoping to find flaws. Old prejudices died hard for some individuals. "She's just lucky," one senior staffer was overheard saying. "This media liaison thing is just a PR stunt." These comments, though fewer, still stung. Elena felt the pressure, the weight of expectation. She knew she represented more than just herself. She was a symbol for others in overlooked positions. Failure was not an option she was willing to consider. Instead of succumbing to negativity, she doubled her efforts. She prepared even more meticulously for every briefing. She sought feedback, always eager to learn and improve. Her work ethic, honed over years of demanding physical labor, now served her well in the intellectual arena. She met criticism with grace and quiet determination. Her resilience became an inspiration in itself. Younger staffers in particular looked up to her. They saw her navigate challenges with poise and strength. She became an informal mentor to many, not just those in the Hidden Voices program, but others too. She offered encouragement, shared her experiences. She reminded them that their contributions mattered. "Believe in your abilities," she would say warmly, "and never let anyone define your limits for you." Her office became a quiet haven of support. Slowly but surely, Elena won over most of her critics. Her consistent excellence was undeniable. Her genuine kindness disarmed even the most cynical. The positive impact she had on international relations was clear. The success of the Hidden Voices initiative spoke volumes. The culture within the White House was subtly shifting. There was a growing appreciation for diverse talents, a recognition that leadership could emerge from anywhere. Elena Martinez was not just doing her job, she was changing the way people saw each other. Elena Martinez's journey is a powerful story. From the quiet solitude of cleaning White House floors to the global stage of international media relations. It's a testament to the incredible power within us all. Her story reminds us that talent knows no specific uniform. It doesn't reside only in corner offices or fancy titles. It can be found in the hands that serve, the voices unheard. It exists in every individual, waiting to be discovered, waiting for a chance to shine brightly. Elena's life is a beacon of that truth. Her transformation was not just her own doing. It took Caroline Leavitt's open eyes and open heart, someone willing to look beyond the expected, someone willing to listen, to believe, to take a chance. This is a crucial lesson for every leader, every person. We must cultivate the ability to see potential everywhere. In the quiet colleague, the overlooked assistant, the new trainee. Opportunities are not just given, they are created. Created by those who dare to challenge assumptions and who champion the unseen talents around them. The Hidden Voices initiative is more than a program. It's a philosophy, a way of building a stronger community. Imagine the collective power we could unleash. If every organization actively sought out its hidden gems, if every workplace fostered an environment of true inclusion, where every skill is valued, every contribution celebrated, productivity would soar, innovation would flourish, and our workplaces would become places of greater joy, places where everyone feels they truly belong. This is the promise Elena's story holds for us. So, let us all take a page from Elena's book, and from Caroline's courageous act of recognition. Let's look around us with new eyes today. Let's ask ourselves, whose music are we not hearing? Whose unique talents are we failing to see? Let's make it our mission to find them, to nurture them, to create pathways for everyone to contribute their best. Because when we give everyone a chance, we all rise. The potential within each person is limitless. Unveil it, celebrate it, and watch the world change.